was denied a US visa in 2000 after 2002, and yesterday he commanded the largest ever gathering by any foreign leader in the United States, apart from, of course, the Pope. And that's Narendra Modi for you, and that's the Indian Prime Minister. And this I'm talking, of course, about the Howdy Modi event at the NRG Stadium yesterday, and I'm joined by Shishir. Shishir, what does this say about the growing stature of Narendra Modi on the world stage?
See, Narendra Modi was very clear when he became the Prime Minister that he wanted to deepen ties with US.
Right.
And let me say that this was told to the then Ambassador to USA, Mr. S. Jaishankar, who now is the External Affairs Minister. Before he went for the Madison Square Garden event, he had told him very categorically that he wanted to deepen ties with US. Now he wanted to deepen ties with US for the following reasons. It is not because he wanted to break ties with somebody. He wanted to continue his dialogue with the Russians. He wanted to continue his dialogue with the Chinese. But what he wanted was that, a country which houses the Bretton Woods institutions, that is the World Bank and the IMF, a country which is the biggest economy in the world. He wanted a tie-up which was close so that that would help his country grow economically. So the whole idea to sort of deepen ties was not only in defense, technology, and other things, but the whole idea focus was economy. And putting in words of the Clinton's campaign manager, its economy is stupid.
Its economy is stupid. And as far as Trump's presence at that event is concerned, for the U.S. president to actually not just attend any event of a foreign leader on U.S. soil, that itself is unprecedented. But for him to stay there for the entire duration of the 1 hour Modi speech there, that itself is very telling. And of course, Trump has his reasons for being there because the Indian origin people in the United States normally vote Democrat, and of course, elections are looming, and of course, he has his own interest in being there. But how does this, what is the big takeaway from Washington and for New Delhi as far as the immediate, because Modi very categorically to be standing there in front of Donald Trump in the audience there and talking about Article 370 revocation and talking about how Pakistan and how they should not be interfering. Obviously a lot of backroom diplomatic maneuvering must have gone on before the finalization of the speeches of both the presidents of the United States and the Indian Prime Minister.
See, there are two questions then. One is about President Trump. I don't think so people understand what is the optics of the event,
Right.
so to speak. First of all, he is the president of the most powerful country in the world. Second, he comes to Houston, and for a man who has an ego bigger than the NRG Stadium, the man plays second fiddle to Narendra Modi.
Absolutely.
Do you even understand what it means? And for a man who stays for the entire speech,
Exactly.
goes for an unplanned circling of the
Yeah,
entire
exactly.
thing.
It was sort of like a
So,
victory lap.
so when people say that this is actually for Trump's election, this is nonsense. Trump's election would be one minuscule part of it. This has got a huge dimension. It's got a humongous dimension on it. The dimension in this is two things. One, it shows the leverage that the Indian diaspora has in the world. Second thing, it is a clear-cut message to virtually the entire globe as to where India US stand. Do you know that yesterday all the ambassadors around the world have sent telegrams back to their headquarters saying that how big was this event? So it is very, very simplistic to say that it was
That
about
it was
some
just about one
elections.
election. Yeah.
It had even if it come to Pakistan, even that message on terrorism, that's again one minuscule thing. The main thing was it had a connotation for China. It had a connotation for the entire world. It had a connotation of how close are the ties. It was actually a huge win-win for both the countries, and that is where it stands. Now, let me also tell you that the speech was written by Prime Minister himself, so there is no diplomacy in this. The Prime Minister decided to speak what he does. This is typically Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi will take you up front.
Yeah, he
This
was
is the way he is. He is not into diplomatic niceties. He understands the nuances. He understands where it goes. He's a natural leader.
right.
So that's what he did. And I can tell you the speech was prepared by himself. He worked on it very, very hard. He made sure that he made President Trump special, just like President Trump made Narendra Modi special. So it was a humongous event. It's not simple. Believe you me, people have still not understood where it
Understood
started.
the wider implications of this
It is
entire.
huge.
Okay. So I just want to talk about the meeting with Imran Khan scheduled later for today, with the United States president, and obviously the meeting with Imran Khan coming close on heels of this event at the NRG Stadium, where Trump and Modi bonhomie was visible for all and sundry to see. What do you feel is going to happen, and what is your takeaway? And from what have you understood is going to happen at this Trump Imran Khan meeting? And does it hold any value, any credence?
See, the point is this: I'm nothing to take away from the meeting of Prime Minister Imran Khan with President Trump, but it comes at a very critical juncture in the sense that yesterday you had the President of US with the Prime Minister hand in hand going around the stadium in a stadium which has a capacity of 72,000 people,
And it was packed.
and it was packed.
Right.
Okay, it's a 72,000 people, and the maximum that the stadium has been packed is for a concert which happened, I think, about 2 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a rock and roll concert. So the point is, so he can hold his meeting, but today also is a dialogue on extremism, which has been sponsored by the King of Jordan,
Right.
by New Zealand. So there is a dialogue on extremism in which Prime Minister Modi is speaking first, and then the Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella is speaking afterwards. It's on how to counter violent extremism and cyber
Crimes.
terrorism.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it comes a very critical juncture. So what I can actually predict would be that it would be sort of a meeting where uh, Prime Minister Imran Khan will say exactly what he has to say on Kashmir, and we know what he's going to say on Kashmir. So there's nothing new in that. And the only thing that President Trump can assure him is that he wants basically that there should not be any flare up in Jammu and Kashmir. But for that, it is Pakistan which has to be held responsible, not India. So this is where it is going to happen. So it's going to be one of those meetings. Yes, there will be a meeting. That's it.
Right. I also want to talk about, and this is probably my last question to you. I want to talk about the implications. I mean, of course, he's meeting with the Prime Minister Imran Khan today, but tomorrow he meets with Prime Minister Modi again, Trump. There were some people who predicted that Trump would be making some sort of mini announcement at the NRG Stadium yesterday. Of course, it didn't happen. Clearly, the details of it were still being thrashed out, or there was no announcement at all in the first place. One doesn't know. But knowing the trade issues between India and the United States right now, clearly there is some attempt at hammering out a deal. Do you think that we are going to hear something day after tomorrow when President Trump meets with Prime Minister Modi?
See, what's going to happen is that, if you look at what the two leaders have spoken, and when Prime Minister Modi said that, that President Trump calls him a tough negotiator, while he said that
He's learning
he is
from
learning
Trump.
from him
Yes.
the art of the deal.
Yeah.
So obviously there is some tough negotiations that are going on behind the scenes. My understanding is the negotiations are positive. And see, there are two ways of looking at it. One is that they they want that the trade deficit should be nullified
Right.
by India buying certain goods which they are recommending.
Mm-hmm.
I can say the other way around. As India, I can say I'll give you that. I'll nullify the trade deficit, but doing it my way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think between the two there will be an answer to it, and I am sure, I am sure that the deal is in the offing. It's on the table. Now, whether it is mini or big, I
One
do
doesn't
not
know.
know. But
Yeah.
let me tell you one thing: neither Prime Minister Modi nor President Trump think small.
Right. So, and tough negotiators, both of them. There might be a deal between India and the United States on Wednesday, right?
And one more thing I want to add is that you have to watch out. The biggest takeaway is going to be if President Trump decides to restore the general GSP with
Right.
it, which we had withdrawn.
Right. So
That
that
two
will be
hundred
a
million
that will
dollars.
yeah yeah
It's going to be one
that's
huge thing. That's going
huge
to be
huge.
one
That's
huge
going to
thing.
be huge.
So somewhere in between it lies over there. I
Right.
mean, you'll have defense deals. That's all right. You can have political discussions. That's all right. But the fact is, I'm very optimistic
That
that
there's
something is in the offing
something big
on
is in
trade
the
issue.
offing.
Yeah.
Right. Something big in the offing on the trade issue. Keep watching the space. Keep watching HindustanTimes.com. We'll keep coming back to you with more.